Hello there. That probably would have landed better if I had an actual dinosaur puppet on my hand, because R.I.P. Dino Land, R.I.P. Dr. Grant Seeker, not dead, just gone from Walt Disney World. Um, anyway, if you're here, you're probably well aware by now. I am Lorenz. I am writing and directing and editing a fan-made adaptation animatic of the Haunted Mansion called A Night in the Mansion. And the last time I was here, I interviewed my good friend Tessa Grantham, and she's playing our Madame Leota. And the reason her interview was first is because when you in the Haunted Mansion, you can't really summon the spirits without talking to Leota first. So our first spirits after that is the one, the only Master Gracey, played by my good friend Deric King. He and I met in college, and then we kind of got closer through our friend Summer's play that she cast us both in. We love you so much, Summer, if you're watching this. That's also how I met Tessa. So that's how I met the both of them. And we've been good friends talking about Star Wars stuff and all sorts of creative things ever since we graduated. So please enjoy this conversation. We do get sidetracked a couple times talking about Star Wars, but it's okay. That's what this is all about, right? So anyway, like I said, please enjoy this conversation with my good friend Derek. All right, welcome back, everybody, and welcome to my friend Derek.
Hello, everybody.
So Derek, why don't you tell the people who you were playing, if you remember who you're playing?
It hasn't been that long. I am the great Master Gracey.
The legendary Master Gracey.
Very legendary
Yeah.
indeed. It was a lot of fun and quite an honor to play such a big name in
Mhm.
this project.
All right. So for all the people who may not know, because I mean, like, there's not a lot of people who know this project anyway. Um, oh, excuse me. I should probably preface this to everybody. Like, I'm kind of in the middle of dinner, but like, I'm pausing that. So if I'm just putting that out there.
We're humans.
Um, yeah. But explain to everybody listening, everybody watching, how we know each other and how we met.
Well, very similar to your interview with Tessa, you and I met on the same project with Teddy as we got through Summer's master's project, I guess it was. But your and I's friendship kind of stems more from our mutual enjoyment of Star Wars
Mhm.
and our consistent ratings back and forth with each other over new projects, ideas, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met in college. Pretty much just worked on a thing here and there. Technically, the first time we met, I think, was for a student led play because I think it was between you or
That's
I
right.
who
That's
got the
right.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I almost forgot about that.
it was worth forgetting, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I think it's been what, 3 years now that we've known each other, maybe two,
Don't
three
no,
years.
don't say that. Uh,
Something long. Hey, if it makes you feel better, I've known Tessa for 6 years now. So
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, a little bit. Um, but yeah, that is very true. It was, yeah, the Summers project was where it kind of came together.
yeah.
Um, love you, Teddy, and we love you, Summer.
Yep.
Um,
Birthday
so
twin. Shout out.
yes, that's true. Um, So from that, I mean, that's kind of how sorry, I'm getting a text right now. I should turn this off.
No worries.
Um I'm just like not prepared for this.
Yeah.
Um but kind of on the subject of us meeting each other and getting to know each other, that's kind of a great lead into this project. Can you tell the people how we
Mhm.
got involved with this?
Um, well, basically, I'm pretty sure you texted me after I had graduated. It was
Hmm.
kind of just like, graduate and go find a job, but get any chance to do some voice acting or just acting in general, and I'm kind of there to hop on it, especially since like it's hard to find work after you get
Yeah,
done
yeah, yeah.
in school. But no, I think you reached out to me and maybe even Tessa at the same time because Tessa and I have done too many projects together to not
Hmm.
be at least a little bit correlated, especially at UCI. But yeah, I remember receiving this, and I guess to kind of jump into my background about what the whole project's about, I'd only been to Disneyland like once in the like last 10 15 years. So I wasn't super familiar. Like I knew the ride. I had heard of
Right.
it, but I hadn't been on it too many times. Like I wasn't familiar. So I guess the fun thing for me to do was to kind of get to learn about what this project is or like what it's based off of and kind
Yeah.
of get to explore that. And then when I finally did go back to Disney, gosh, I think it was 2 years ago now
Hmm.
in like November. But we went on the ride again, and it was after we had done the recording. I'm pretty sure. So it was kind of cool to like sit there and like point out like a few of the characters.
I do vaguely remember that, but
Yes,
it was like November, so the ride wasn't even itself. It was
yeah, no,
the
that's
holiday
true.
version, which I was very upset about. I was like, the first time I'm here with
Yeah,
people in the cast, and it's not even the actual thing. We covered this in Tessa's interview that I'm like,
if it makes you feel better, I agree with you on the instance, and I'm not going to
yeah,
argue
yeah,
over it. So
yeah. I think anyone who knows me or following the project, like, I think I've made my feelings on that very clear.
it's fair,
Um, but that is kind of flattering on my end that for you to not know as much about this project, not have as much of an attachment to this ride as a lot of us did,
Mhm.
and you're like, yeah, like why not? Like that is I'm very honored that you just kind of trusted me with that and you kind of dove in from there.
Yeah.
Um,
And anybody that takes the time to put a script together and like has a
mhm,
project idea, I'm like, why not? Because I've been there. I'm currently somewhat in the middle of
mhm,
something similar. So, and I knew you. We worked together,
mhm,
and like I said, our love for Star Wars that's definitely a pretty strong tie.
yeah,
So it was pretty much no brainer about whether or not to help. I wasn't expecting to really be given a part as legendary or as big
mhm,
as Gracie because I was just like, this is going to be fun. I'll get to do a couple voices,
yeah.
and that's about it.
And I think that also kind of speaks to like a majority of how we all, because this was like a year after I graduated.
Right.
So we established in Tessa's interview that she graduated 2023. You also graduated 2023.
We did.
Majority of us are coming from UC Irvine, dot, dot, dot. We're not a cult. Um, no, I lost my train of thought. But I think that kind of speaks to the universal experience that art majors and theater majors and just creative people have after college,
Yeah.
where it's and maybe just people who go to college in general, where it's like, okay, got the degree, now what?
Hmm.
Um, and uh, like when I had started writing this, I think I talked about this with Tessa. Like when I started writing this, I didn't know any actors. I didn't expect to put it together. But then on the other side of college, I was like, well, you know what? I know actors. I'm like, we could put it together and let's see where this goes. And now it's just kind
Yeah.
of snowballed into this thing. Um, and I think for me, it's been nice to know. It's been a very healing project for me, because I feel like you and I have talked about this. When we were at UC Irvine, I only had that year on campus, so I didn't
Right.
get the opportunity to do a lot of things. And when I did, they were very rare, like summer's project.
Hmm.
Um, so I just kind of felt like you can't help but take it personally, even though you definitely shouldn't. Um, so it kind of this project and kind of dusting it off and saying like, well, I know actors, let's do it. That was healing in itself, and it's been nice to know that to some extent for the rest of you, it's also been kind of healing and yeah, I guess for lack of a better word, healing. 'Cause I don't know
Yeah.
if your guys' trauma, your undergrad trauma, like runs as deep as
Hmm.
mine. Um,
I'm sure we could sit on here and talk about that for quite some
oh
time,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
But Peter the Anteater, we love you. Um, dot
again,
dot
not a
dot. We're not
cult,
a cult.
not a cult.
Uh, but yeah, it's been it's been heartwarming for me to have all of you um take as much pleasure in this project as I have, and to some extent healed something in all of your guys' selves. So I guess with that in mind, we've talked about how kind of iconic Master Gracey is, even though like
Hmm.
he's not
He's no Madame Leota or
He's not
anything,
Matt
but
Leota. But like his presence is felt because well, I guess fun fact for anyone who may not know, might not know, may not know. Um, Master Gracey was never really intended to be anything. It was just kind of like a throwaway tribute to an Imagineer, Yale Gracey. And in this case, that tribute it was in the form of a tombstone, as all tributes in the Haunted Mansion kind of come. They come in tombstones for Imagineers. And his said Master Gracey laid to rest, no mourning, please at his request. And in this instance, Master did not mean Master of the House. It meant like Master, someone who's really young, too young to be called Mister, and that was kind of a tribute to his youthful energy. It was just a throwaway thing, but because fans passing by that in the queue saw a Master, they kind of put two and two together that way, and that kind of snowballed into a thing.
Right.
And pairing that with something at Walt Disney World, there's a portrait of this aging man who is just kind of this nondescript random man. And because it's in such a prominent place when you enter the Walt Disney World mansion, people thought like, well, if Master Grace is the master of the house, that must be him. So like these two completely separate ideas that have just kind of become one, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. Um, and I mean, if you watch the two Haunted Mansion movies, like Eddie Murphy and the one that came out a couple years ago, like they both kind of look like that painting. But anyway, that's like a nerd rant from me. Um, all of that to say, is there anything that you did to prepare for this role? Like, what did you do specifically?
I think because it was a voice acting piece, I did as much research into like his look and kind of like where the setting was. Because, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't know the ride super well. But
Hmm.
once I had done my research and kind of got a look, I think I put a lot of my time into figuring out his voice, but also like because with that fact you just shared, I definitely first read it as he is Master Gracie. This is his place. This is who's running this place. So for me, it was a lot of like, okay, who was I and how different is that compared to what I am now? And then when we got to read through the script, it was a lot of fun to kind of see like, oh, he's going to wake up as this, but then
Hmm.
kind of transition. So it was a lot of basically how do I keep the respect of this character, but also add my personal touches of it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny you should mention that you read it that way because I don't want to give too much of the script away, but I feel like because Master Gracie's reputation in the fandom has kind of ballooned into this thing, like I couldn't help but acknowledge that, but also kind of try to set the record straight a little bit as to what that meant.
Right.
But yeah, and I love that you brought up the reading, the script reading. I feel like that was a very pivotal moment in this project's lifespan.
Yeah.
Um,
It was, yeah, that feels like a while ago, but
it was it three 3 years at this point. I don't really like
yeah.
saying that, and it makes me just.
No, no, but here's the thing. I think that it's almost kind of a good thing that it was that long ago because
Mhm.
it's been given the time to kind of like develop and really be what it's need to be. Because I think I even had to come back in and redo some of the work.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to record with you at least two times, maybe even three times. But we were also deciding like if I was going to voice certain side characters and whatnot. Like I
Hmm.
think
Hmm.
I don't remember if we ended up keeping my pirate character or
Oh, that
not.
that that's still in there.
Okay, so I remember having to like come back and record a couple times, but there were definitely moments where I was like, I finally felt back in an element. Like my time in college and learning theater, there was an opportunity here and there to learn how to voice act, but to kind of actually like use it and really get to have it for a project was a lot of fun.
Hmm. Oh, well, that's good. Um, so like you've talked about preparing and like getting into the mindset of Master Gracey, like all the preparation that you did. Do you have any specific influences, whether that be like another Disney movie or just any other movie in general, like any other actor's performance in something, or like even just like another Disney attraction or anything?
Um, as far as like voice actors go, I don't think I can like currently off the top of my head name anybody, but I've always been able to respect somebody who like, and I'm gonna be a nerd here for a second, but like D. Bradley Baker.
Oh yeah.
Like he is. the clone template, but he can make 50 different personalities, even though they're
Yeah,
all technically the same
yeah.
thing. So for me, it's always been like, okay, I can make Master Gracey sound like any generic Englishman from the 1700s, but this is the Haunted Mansion. Like, what do I do to add in that aspect of it? So I think a lot of my influence just comes from like people who sound really well rounded. Because as far as my voice goes, I have a deeper natural speaking voice, but I don't like to get stuck in it too much. Like, I
Hmm.
don't like to just sit down in the low. So it's been fun to kind of listen to like who's a good voice. I guess just in general, like people I always icon, like Denzel Washington is one of the best actors for me. But so to be able to watch him go and like he always has like his stern voice, but he also has this
Hmm.
voice and this
Hmm.
celebration voice and this voice and this voice. I'm also a huge Critical Role nerd because I'm also a D&D nerd. So I watch like Travis Willingham and Liam O'Brien and Sam Riegel and watch how the three of them could all be given the same character, but all be given a completely different voice to it. So I guess I don't focus on anybody specifically just so I can keep my ear open to multiple different personalities so I can learn as much as I can.
I love that. Yeah. But I guess with that in mind, my next question is there any particular actor you would like to see play Master Gracie? If like in an alternate
Ooh,
world where this was like approved by Disney and everything, and I mean in my alternate world, like this would be approved by Disney and like we'd all be doing it.
right.
But like who would you have in mind?
That's a good question. I can name an actor's name if I'm just naturally like talking about it, but of course I get to an interview and I can't think of anybody's name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, if he were still alive, I think James Earl Jones would have been an amazing Master Gracey.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he's
I
got the
th-
presence for it.
and again, I'm just gonna sound like a Star Wars nerd, but this it's just who I am. I think Harrison Ford would make a great Master Gracey,
Hmm.
especially where his voice is at his age. Um,
I'm gonna let you in on like a little bit of a secret. Harrison Ford is a name that has been thrown around in talking about the script with Hatbox Ghost.
okay, yeah, I
Um,
could see that.
because I'll kind of keep a lid on that, but in trying to figure out Hatbox Ghost, um, like we played around. Okay, well, I guess I can say this, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. Hatbox Ghost was originally played by my friend Abraham, who is also playing Alexander Nitrikov, and he did like the drawings of that original 6 minute animatic that is also
Yes,
currently sitting on my YouTube page, but I will probably take it down once the whole thing is finished.
of course.
Um, and when we tried to figure it out, and he kind of landed on Harrison Ford, like the gravelly kind of I've been around the block type of thing,
Hmm.
and I thought that was perfect. But like, unfortunately, Abraham and I couldn't really. We liked that direction, but he couldn't keep it consistent. Is the
Right.
So we agreed like it should probably go to somebody else, and who that somebody is, we'll meet him eventually. Um, I mean, I guess you will all meet him eventually, but
Hmm.
yeah, I do love that you said Harrison Ford, but James Earl Jones is Master Gracie. Like
Yeah,
the way that I wrote Master Gracie, like the has such a commanding presence
he
that I
does.
think that would, yeah, I'm picturing the scenes, the Master Gracie scenes with like James Earl Jones's voice, and yeah, that definitely works.
I think
Um,
if I were to like take like a step in a different direction, I also think like if I could get Johnny Depp, but like Jack Sparrow Johnny Depp as
mm,
Gracie, I
hmm
think it would be a very interesting twist on it because it would be this like I know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? So you can actually teach me what I'm talking about.
mm,
Like
mm,
I think, and obviously I don't want to give any spoilers. Gracie was a lot of fun to kind of like learn where his head at is at, and if anybody's going to make it seem like they know what they're thinking, but nobody else can tell, I feel like Johnny Depp would be able to pull that
yeah,
off.
yeah. I was keeping the youth thing in mind, and
Right?
like I don't know why my mind just went to probably because he's in everything. But Timothy Chalamet,
Yeah. I just like you said, he is in everything, and no disrespect to Timothy Chalamet whatsoever. It seems like this character or this role would need a bigger voice.
Hmm.
Like, not to say that, because he has his voice, but like if we go, and this is be slightly even younger, but even like a Hugh Jackman voice would
Mm.
work for
Hmm.
this. I think it almost needs to be more of a grizzled veteran voice,
Hmm.
which is interesting because I wouldn't say I played him grizzled. I would say I played him as somebody who just got woken up from a nap when he wasn't ready to be woken up from a nap.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I like that description. Now all the haunted mansion purists are gonna be in here like, what does that mean? But you'll see. Um, what I can't even read. What I lost my place, I should say. Um, Now, you said you didn't have, because my question was, has this changed anything about how you view the role? But as you kind of stated earlier, you didn't have like any preconceived notions of the mansion because you just kind of took it at face value when you wrote it like all those years ago.
yes.
Um, so I guess I can kind of ask you, how has how has your perspective of Master Gracey shifted as we've done the project? Unless you want to answer the question as it was.
Um, for me, he was like when I first kind of read through it, and he comes in much later in the story that we've
Hmm.
created. So when I first read him, I was like, okay, this almost feels more like another side piece of this puzzle that we need to kind of complete the story.
Hmm.
But then as the story kind of continued, I saw him as there he's a big part of the story, but there's an even bigger part of the story that's outside of this. Like it's
Right.
almost as if you wanted to write the prequel to what we made, Gracie would be the
Yeah.
centerpiece of it
Yeah.
all. So I grew to respect him as a character who has a lot or had a lot to say.
Hmm.
He gets his point across and helps with what needs to be done. But I think he originally for me is like, okay, this is just a side character. This is just a cool thing. We're gonna go in, we're gonna say our lines, we're gonna help the main characters out, and we're gonna move on. But then as I kind of kept reading it over and over, I found myself being like, oh, I'm here. Like these people rely on me for more than just
Yeah.
another face.
And it's so interesting that you say that he felt like a side, kind of like a side character initially before you kind of continue with the story. Um, and like, I don't even think I realized I did that, but it's not necessarily by accident because so many of the characters that they are meeting in the mansion on this particular night, um, they are just kind of side characters. Like the
Right.
structure, I think people will find is very similar to Alice in Wonderland, where it's these normal. I mean, in Alice in Wonderland, she's just one person, but it's this group of humans who are still alive, and they just kind of find their way into the mansion, and as they make their way through the different rooms and such, like all the different ghosts come in and they all have strong personalities. And then it's just like they're in, they interact with this ghost, they're kind of out. Maybe the ghost is helpful, maybe not. And that's kind of the last we see of them. But yeah, you're right that Master Gracie starts out that way. And then, like, you can very much feel his presence a little bit more strongly than some of those other ghosts. Um, and yeah, I think without giving too much away, I feel like that is kind of his arc in that he's realizing um, that he's part of something bigger than himself, I guess. Uh, or like this mansion, like even though it was his family's mansion, like this history goes beyond himself and his own view of himself and his family name.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to kind of because I don't like to jump super far into scripts when I'm first given a
Hmm.
role or a part, but I like to see where I start at least. So
Hmm.
that's pretty much why I thought the way I did about the character. But then as soon as I got to read more, I was like, heck yes, this is someone big. This is someone important.
Yeah. Um, oh, I think. This is embarrassing. I think I read that question wrong because I saw the R and E and I saw roll, and it's under right under roll. That question was, has this changed anything about how you viewed the ride?
I honestly haven't. I've only been on the mansion ride when it was Christmas.
Yeah.
So, and I think when I originally rode it as a very young child, a long time ago, I was when it was in its usual form.
Mhm.
I don't remember it sadly. I need to find time to get to Disney again and do it when it's not in its holiday form
Yeah.
and truly appreciate it. And I think I'll be able to have a better opinion of it then.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
To be fair, I kind of have an idea of what it looks like because during the pandemic, I found myself just playing video games a lot, and the Minecraft Disneyland world
Hmm.
was one of those things that we did often. And so I have an idea of the ride from that, but I don't want to say that that's like what it is.
I mean, I don't play Minecraft like at all, but I've seen
Hmm.
videos and photos of like the Disneyland servers that people make, and like
Right.
they're pretty spot on. Like
Yeah.
yeah, they're working with like limitations of the game, but like Disney adults be crazy.
Yes. Yes. That's.
I can say that because I mean I wish I could say I wasn't a Disney adult, but I wrote a full-on Haunted Mansion fan fiction, so
Yeah. You
who am I
you
to
you've
judge?
put yourself in
Yeah,
that title
yeah.
for sure.
um, so I asked my next question, less about the project and more about the ride, but I know you said you don't know the ride that well. I guess I'll just kind of open it up because this question is: do you have any favorite memories of the Haunted Mansion? Do you have any favorite memories of maybe just going to the park, even from when you were at that young age, or even memories of playing the Disneyland recreation in Minecraft, like any sort of memories with like the Disney park kind of experience.
I mean, and I sound like a broken record of a nerd, but the
Yeah.
first time I walked into Galaxy's Edge,
Hmm.
I have never walked so slowly in order to absorb as much as I
Yeah.
could in a given moment. And I went with my sister the first time I saw it, and my sister doesn't watch Star Wars or pay attention to it that much. So when I finally got to go with Tessa and our friend Gary
Hmm.
back November of 2024, I want to say it was, um, it was one of those surreal moments where like I had two people who knew me very well watch me be a nerd for a little while.
Yeah.
And it was that like I feel like I belong here. Like this is
Yeah.
the kind of area I want to be in. So, but I have my Ahsoka Tano lightsabers up on one of my shelves. I have my Jedi robe in my closet. So I think just that getting to go into Disneyland and be a part of the world that I love so much. Because funny enough, I believe the last time I ever went to Disneyland before my super long hiatus, we actually saw the upcoming sign of Galaxy's Edge.
Hmm.
Like it's like they hadn't started construction at all. It was just like this area is about to be Star Wars land. I don't think it was even called Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, I think it was just like
Yeah.
there's gonna be Star Wars
There's gonna be
stuff
yeah
here.
coming soon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that day because I remember meeting up with you guys after all that.
Hmm.
I'm looking for the photo of you build it after you built your droid
Oh yes, I have my droid. He is also down
because
here on the shelf behind me.
I I want to share that, but if I can't find it now, I'll probably post it to the Instagram soon
Yeah.
enough.
Well, you
Um,
made the hilarious Hamilton edit of the look
oh
at my
yeah,
son.
yeah. I posted it to my story and I put that as the
It was
audio.
so good.
But yeah, I do remember that day. So I mean, just kind of in line with that, like you've talked a lot about that particular day, or even just seeing it for the first time. Can you tell the people your reaction to seeing the Millennium Falcon just sitting there?
It honestly took my brain a few
Hmm.
looks at it before I really understood what I was looking at. Because the first time I went to Galaxy's Edge, um, Smuggler's Run was down. So
Oh, okay.
I got to see it from the outside and kind of do the walk around. But when I went this last time, we got to go on. So I got to see the inside and from the back and everything. And to me, for some reason in my brain, I thought the ship would be a lot smaller than
Mm,
what it
hmm.
was. I guess like from my perspective of the movie, the ship, I mean, and it should have looked bigger, but when I got there, it was just this grand scale, and I looked at it as like, yeah, no wonder Han was always trying to get this damn thing back. Like, I would want to make sure I always had this thing. So
Yeah.
it was very special, and it was just it was kind of like my nerd self felt like this can exist. It's just we have to put work into it.
So what was the last part?
I was saying that like my nerd self like has this galaxy in mind that it could exist, and then actually getting to see it, it was very fulfilling.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Um, yeah, I cannot find the photo right now, so I'll probably post it soon enough.
Yeah,
I'll try
feel
to find
free.
it again.
Feel free.
Um, but yeah, I now we've got on this Galaxy's Edge tangent, which I don't mind. Have you heard the news about Galaxy's Edge?
I've heard Lord Vader is finally coming.
That is, yes, Lord Vader and the trio. We're getting the trio.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
which I'm
Finally.
very excited about. Because they brought Luke in for Season of the Force, yeah,
Yep.
last year, and that was surreal. I remember just walking with Luke, and he said, "I sense much good in you." And when Luke Skywalker himself tells you that,
Yeah.
like I'm never gonna doubt myself again.
Yeah.
I know I know what I know it's a guy in a wig and but like throwing that away, like when you're in the park, like forget about all that technical thing. Like when you're in the park, just let yourself just kind of be in that story.
Yeah.
um and it just hits. Like it really does hit. um like I'm sure we talked about the reveal of the Falcon and seeing the Falcon.
Hmm.
What about the reveal on Rise of the Resistance? Because you are the only oh, fun fact, you are the only person in the cast who listed it as one of their favorite rides.
It and I will say this knowing how lucky I am. The first time I rode Rise of the Resistance, my wait in line was only 30 minutes long.
Hmm. Very
So
good.
I got to enjoy the queue as it is,
Yeah.
but it never got to a point for me where I'm like, okay, this is taking too long. Like I got
Yeah.
to walk through, and then where it started to slow down was the parts where I was like, I can really study and really look at all this stuff. And then when I got on the ride, it was just one of those situations where my brain was immediately like, I am not on Earth anymore.
Yeah.
We are in so much trouble.
Yeah.
There's because I feel like we joke about stormtroopers, especially like they're just goofy, they can't hit anything. But that's when we're watching our heroes. When you're just standing there and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna try anything. I don't want to do anything. Like, yes, you caught me. I am a rebel and I am trying to get out of here. So I'm sure my Star Wars bias is one of the reasons it's my favorite ride, but I think what they did with it was good. Like I'm happy it wasn't like a straight up just roller coaster that had like sound effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was very immersive, and I appreciated all of the character actors' dedication, even if they were just standing there in the uniform or just standing there in the armor. It really brought that world to life. And kind of to swing it back towards the project, I think that's what's great about getting to do stuff like this,
Mhm.
because bringing ideas to life and bringing these characters that definitely have a story to tell and being able to give them a voice is very special. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of be a part of something while
Yeah.
otherwise I've only been on the audience perspective of it.
Yeah, and kind of tying that back into Haunted Mansion and the project in general. Um, like everyone compliments me and the script and everything, and like I appreciate it so much. Um, but everything was already there in the ride. I was just kind of synthesizing it and putting it together. Because that ride is so rich, and that does go to what you were saying about bringing something to life. Um, So like it's already been kind of brought the Haunted Mansion's already been kind of brought to life in its own way. And I think we're just kind of doing it in like a little bit different of a way. Um, so yeah, that was a nice kind of way to tie it back to the mansion. But I'll give you a little fun fact. I don't know if you knew this, but designing Rise of the Resistance was the first time that anybody at Lucasfilm had to like think about the geographic locations of the rooms of a Star Destroyer. Because like
That's
you
funny.
know like in a movie set it's like here's the hangar and then like they're in a hallway in this next shot and then like
Yep.
they're in in like a cell in this next shot or something,
Right.
but this is the first time that they actually had to like kind of make a blueprint of it, so to speak. I mean, I could be wrong in saying that it's the first time, but like
It's
but
probably the
they
first time at this scale that
yeah,
it's
but
happening.
like they yeah, because I never really thought about that. Because I'm like, yeah, we just kind of go with the flow in the movies, and like you can buy into it. But when you're there, it's like, oh yeah, you really have to do think about that. Um, but anyway, tying it back to bringing stories to life, and even in like the tiniest ways. This is less about the project and probably a loaded question, but what inspired your creative journey?
Oh, geez. Am I still here? Okay. Um,
A
I'm
little out of
blurry on my
focus,
end.
but
Maybe my technology, man. It's wonderful.
yeah.
It's a wonderful thing that we get to do
I
with.
love how I asked this really
Yeah,
big
big
question
loaded
and then
question.
okay, we figured it out.
We're back. I am not
Um,
blurry anymore.
but yeah, but now you can see his background. But we
We're
were just
gonna
talking about that.
reveal the blur with the UCS Razor Crest here, little Grogu's down here. Lorenz and I actually went and saw the Acolyte debut in theaters together. That show should have not have been canceled. Anybody
No,
who
I
thinks
agree.
otherwise, fight me.
We did go dressed as Jedi's. Maybe
We
I'll put a
did.
picture of that in this.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Um,
But to get back to your loaded question
so yeah,
before my
let
camera,
me re-ask you that question
yeah,
so you
go
can
ahead.
kind of get back in that mindset. Um, so like we were talking about bringing stories to life. And obviously, we were both theater majors, so
Right.
we both have experience doing that. So, what inspired that journey for you? What made you want to say, "I want to be a storyteller and an actor and all these things"?
Um, I think when I think like the youngest memory that I have is that I lived in California for 6 years, and then I moved away to Arizona, and then I came back. But in those first few years that I was in California, the school that I went to was Arroyo Vista Elementary, and they put on some kind of play like pretty much every single year. And I got thrown into like this tiger onesie, or I was like a toucan with a broken wing. And then I never really got away from the arts after that. My dad's a pretty big inspiration as far as my artist side goes because he does a whole printing business and he's always just appreciated like having decorations, but also making it his own. As far as theater goes, I did one musical in middle school, and then for my high school, for most of the years, it was basically you had to choose between doing band or acting. And because I had done band for so long, I pretty much did that through high school. But when I graduated as a senior, I kind of was like, I love performing and entertaining and doing concerts. I can't stand practicing. I don't want to like find time to get much better at this. So I decided to make a change and thought, why not give acting another try? So I get to community college at Miracosta and I go, okay, let's give this a try. And right at that point of all right, I'm in the school, people know my name. I'm about to go into this summer and have a great like time teaching. I'm finally getting to classes and I'm auditioning for stuff. Pandemic hit. And
Mhm.
for me, it was like there were definitely, and I'm sure a lot of creative people who are just getting started, or even people who had experience were like, do I want to keep doing this? Like, is this still viable? But thankfully, I had a big group of friends who were like, no, we're going to keep doing this. So I did 9 Zoom theater projects over the span of the year. So that helped create the spark. But getting to be a storyteller, that that kind of came from, how do I say this? I liked telling stories because I kind of decided where the plot was going,
Hmm.
and that sounds very controlling, but I always loved being a character, and like the parts that I did get to control, I loved. Like I get to control my movement and my voice and my reactions. Like I don't get to control what I say, but I get to control how I say it. So when I started being more of a storyteller, I started playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, especially during the pandemic because we had to find something to do.
Hmm.
My storytelling came a lot from like, okay, I have a blank sheet and I have four other people who are ever going to know about this, but who's to say I can't share it later? Um, I think I enjoy storytelling so much because it's so much better than so many other outlets to
Hmm.
me. Because I watch stuff like, especially real world events and stuff. It's like this, it's just happening. There's some kind of beginning. We're in the middle, and it'll end at some point.
Yeah.
For me, I like being able to go, okay, let's step away, let's escape for a second, and just tell a story, even as a distraction. Which during the pandemic and during these last however many years, distractions have been pretty much a necessity to get through the day sometimes. And I think being a storyteller allows, at least for my mind, to never get tired or bored in a
Hmm.
world that like has a lot of tiring and boring and just things
Yeah.
going on that are not really a story.
Yeah.
So I enjoy being creative because I can control something and share it in a positive light.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we kind of laughed when you said that sounds controlling, but yeah, that's what it comes down to, right? I
Mhm.
mean, um, so much going on in the world that we cannot control, and yet here's things that we can, like this project. Is there a project or something that you want to plug and talk about?
If that's all right, I
Yeah, please
do.
do. Like, I mean, this is
Um,
your time to do it.
being a D&D nerd, I was playing in the pandemic and made a background and a whole character. And pretty much a year later, I decided it wasn't enough. So I wrote a book and I edited a book. And last September or late August, early September, I was officially published and it printed. If anybody would like to go check it out, all you have to do is search up my name, Deric King, on Amazon. Or if you want to go straight through the publishing company, I am published by Spines, which is just another Amazon company. I basically decided to use storytelling as, I'm in college. I need something to do besides typing about the history of Shakespeare's third cousin who apparently like danced on a street corner or something. So it it was really just therapeutic because I'm not an English major. I have like I couldn't tell you the difference between a colon and a semicolon in any matter, but I can write it all out and then let something or someone help me fix it or fix it myself later. So and I'm also started working on the audiobook version, which I will be making
Nice.
available shortly. I will also be self-publishing it because I've had some, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble with my publishing company,
Let's say
but
you've had some challenges.
I've had some challenges. And if I can speak more personally to certain things, and I'll be as quick as I can with this, but AI is ruining the world. AI is destroying us
Mm,
and making
mm.
storytelling and arts worthless. And
Agreed.
the reason that I'm publishing my own audiobook is because I want nothing to do with any AI voice or any AI in my creation because I'd rather have it be heard by however many less people because it's not produced by a publishing company and have it be my own because everything else has been my own at
Right,
this
right.
point. But yeah, AI sucks. Just point and click.
And I think to tie it back all together, this is a really great time to remind everybody that Night in the Mansion is 100% AI free.
Yep.
I know I am editing on Adobe, and I know that there's like AI things that people it just kind of signs you up. I've opted out of everything that I know about.
Yeah. And
But
I
as
I've used Grammarly to help
okay,
with like spell check, but
yeah.
as far as anything written in the story or any ideas for the story,
This
100%.
could go to another tangent, but like there's a difference between generative AI and assistive AI. Like Siri
Yes,
is assistive AI. Like we all do that. But generative AI,
no,
no, that has no place in this project. And I feel
I
like that is to bring any of that into this project would be a disservice to all the incredible artistry that went into building the mansion beforehand.
agreed.
So. Like I've talked about this project with people and they're like, you better not be using AI to bring like Eleanor Audley back to life for Leota. I'm like, no, I've got
No,
someone
no,
better than
you've got
that.
Tessa Grantham,
Yeah,
so I don't
yeah.
know what else you need besides that.
You or
You know
like
that famous person we both know that's
yeah,
just
who's
doing
doing
famous
like
people
yeah,
things. She's
yeah,
gonna kill me when she
yeah.
watches this interview now.
um no AI. We've kind of had some struggles and challenges ourselves with the artwork, but like I'd rather have these struggles with the artwork than turn to
Yeah,
AI and say like make me a haunted mansion movie.
yeah.
So yeah,
And I've been there with you regarding artwork because, and again, I don't want to get in trouble with my publishing company, but
hmm,
one of my challenges was the cover art for the novel,
mhm.
and it took a few emails saying no about their generative AI before they decided to hire one of their artists. So going forward, I have a good friend who I will be commissioning and paying for their time and artwork to be the future covers of my novels because
Nice.
I can't create every aspect of this, but I can control it. Again, sound like a control freak just a little bit. But
Aren't all artists really?
yeah,
Isn't that what we become artists and actors and
that's a
writers?
little true. But yes, I have a friend. I'm reaching out to them about the cover art. And I guess this is a good time to tell you as any, but this project was very inspiring to me regarding my future works. At some point down the line, I will be putting together some scripts to help recreate the story. And you are definitely on my list
Oh,
for
thank you.
a voice whenever I need it.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
there's 4 books to write. I've written one. I'm 12 chapters into the second one. So it's going to be some time, but I have goals with this project. Like I'm sure you have goals with your project.
Hmm.
And as long as I can keep getting on platforms and saying support artists, not AI, and I think that's a good way to go about the world right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect place to wrap it up. So thank you again for your time, Derek.
Of course.
Yeah. Any other last minute thoughts?
Um, the sequels are overhated. Return of the Jedi is the best movie, and how about we all give Lorenz some love for this
Oh,
project? Because man, I was not doing anything acting related when
mm,
you finally reached out for that. So it's hard for me to find time to still do acting, especially where I'm at. I'm not really close to
yeah,
anybody or anywhere that I can go do it. So when I get a chance, I take it as long as I can afford to do so. So I
yeah.
very much appreciate this opportunity and so excited to see the final product.
All right. Yeah. Well, when you talk about goals, like one of my goals is I want to do like a public screening of it somewhere, and my goal is to assemble everybody in the cast to be there for that. Even some of our people who are out of state.
Yep.
Spoilers to who might be in this project. Uh, um, but yeah, thank you again for your time with this interview, and thank you again for your time with everything Master Gracey related as far as this project goes. Um, so yeah, we'll see everybody watching this a little bit later.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.